Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Serenity Soul Invictus, and today I hope you're loving the look. Today we're talking about seizing the day, flipping like Carpe Diem, okay? But we're going to talk about how you are going to make your days more productive, dominating your life by dominating your days, all right? Because life comes in a series of moments, series of, events and occurrences. If you can manage to take control of your days moment by moment to make your days more productive, then your life overall is going to be more fruitful. So we're going to talk about that today. Is I guess motivated the goth look today because this is beast mode. All right, let's get into it. The first and very first requirement to seize your day is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Now, if you remember, just a couple of days ago, I did a video. I'm looking over here because I got the next monitor going. Let me turn that off. It's distracting. Self-awareness is what a lot of people this day and age lack. And it's completely unnerving. It's frustrating. It makes you kind of not want to bother with people. And it also makes people not want to bother you. So clearly, this is the first key or the first step in strategizing how you are going to seize your day and conquer your life. All right, self awareness. Like I said, what most people lack. So, what does self awareness entail exactly, and how do we actually approach this whole thing? Self awareness starts by, first of all, setting up and understanding your limiting patterns, your limitations, the things that are actually holding you back, the things that are stopping you, destructive patterns, things that are hurting you rather than helping you. Okay? That's the first thing as a part of self awareness. Look at what you are doing wrong. Like I said in the video before, the only way that you can actually know yourself at your best is to actually get to know yourself at your worst. So tear down all of those curtains and those blinds that you have to your inner self and see exactly what's going on. That's the first thing. The limiting thoughts, the limiting emotions, the limiting speech, the things that are self destructive. The other part of self awareness includes seeking approval and acceptance from other people. This can be linked to your self-destructive patterns, but you may not even be aware of it all the times. We do things a lot of the times, like I said, do you love it? Like, I don't need anybody to tell me they love it to know I love it. It's great, it's on the whole other side of the spectrum in terms of the looks I usually go with. But a lot of people live their lives day in and day out seeking the approval of other people. And these can be people who have nothing to do with their lives, who do nothing to actually support their lives, to encourage them or anything, but they still go around seeking their approval and acceptance. These could be people, of course, who've had issues in their past, in their childhood. Of course, people with daddy issues always tend to lean toward that kind of behavior, seeking this approval. So when you do this, always remember that you are giving away your power. Because if someone says, I'm not sure, I don't really like it, thought that was makeup. I don't really like it, or I don't like it on you. Then it's like your whole world comes to an end. It's like the sky is falling. Oh my gosh, and it's on top of you. The whole earth is like you have to bear the weight of the pain. It's ridiculous. So this is how you free yourself first and foremost to move forward in life. Okay, free yourself from the need to be liked, from the need to be accepted by everyone else. Accept yourself. Learn to understand who you are and love yourself. That's very important. Like I said, you're giving away your power. You are the one blessed with the power. Do you want to keep it or do you want it to be in someone else's possession? A next part of self-awareness is the conscious awareness part, which is why here it is now, each and every moment you are to analyze yourself. This is something I have been practicing from I was a teenager. This is something I still do up to now, because the only way that you can actually see what's truly going on is to first see yourself, first understand the role that you are playing in this life. Conscious awareness means, like I said, moment by moment, analyzing your thoughts, analyzing your words, analyzing your actions. Okay, conscious awareness, sometimes you wonder why. Okay, so, for instance, you get those feelings sometimes in your stomach. You're like, oh my gosh, this anxiety is just taking you over, right? Conscious awareness would be that part of you that sits down and says, instead of blaming someone else for causing you to feel this way, you're sitting down, you're understanding, what is my part in this? How have I contributed to this anxiety? What am I thinking? What are my thoughts shaped like? Because as we know, thoughts leads to feelings. So we have to learn how to control our thoughts. And this is a great part of conscious awareness. That is the first step, is the thought, because thoughts become things. And if we don't control those, the things are going to control our lives. All right? The next part of self awareness would be blame. All right? Objectively, now, understanding one of the chief and universal laws, which is cause and effect, like karma. Okay? This is like you not trying to escape the responsibility of something. You know that you had a hand to play in that, just like I said with that anxiety before. Like, hey, I started thinking about all kinds of stuff from when I was in high school, started thinking about bullies, started thinking about all these kind of things that are bothersome to me, and then the anxiety has taken over. That's the effect. The cause was my thoughts. The cause was my actual outlook on the situations or situation. So reshape your thoughts. You cannot blame other people. You can only blame yourself for the response, for the reaction you give, because people are going to piss you off. People are not going to like you or accept you all of the time, but you are going to be the one who's responsible for how you react, how you respond, how you think about what they have said to you. People say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, we know words have hurt us a lot. Words have hurt me a lot, man, over the years. A lot. Okay? But those things, like I said, I am so grateful for those things occurring in my life because it gave me strength. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And those things, those words that were said to me, only made me stronger. Okay? Made me love myself more fiercely because I'm like, wow, it's like I don't have a friend in the world. Like, I gotta be my own friend, man. But that was a long time ago. Like I said, understanding the cause and effect, understanding objectively who is responsible, what is at fault, and those at play in the situation. And like I said, next up under the whole thing of self-awareness is fears and limiting beliefs. Okay? We know now, I'm not talking about like at the beginning where I said limitations and self-destructive patterns. I'm talking about fears. We're talking about false evidence appearing real. We're talking about the things that we don't know where we get these fears from, these things that come up in our minds that are so far-fetched, like a Lifetime movie, like, oh my gosh, like, don't let the cat inside because it's going to scrape someone and they're going to get, what's the name of that, like, disease? The cat skip? It's a long name one too. I'm gonna find it right now. But like we have to start controlling our minds and controlling the fear that we allow. Fear can be a healthy thing sometimes because it's giving you a little piece of warning. It's giving you to say, hey, heads up, be careful for that. But you let it run so far away with you that you don't even know how to turn it around anymore, and it stops you from living life to your fullest potential. All right? Cat's disease that pregnant ladies get. I always remember this name, but I can't remember it now for some reason. I'm not sure. I'm gonna find it right now. What should just say cats and pregnant women? Search too long. What's going on? What is going on? Anyways, my connection is something up with that. Toxoplasmosis. That's what it is. Yes, I did all of that. So, anyways, so when you think about things that actually put you in panic mode, things that frighten you, things that, Talk to yourself and tell yourself how to feel. Talk to your subconscious mind because it listens to everything that we say to it, whether you're saying it intentionally, you're just saying it randomly, it's hearing you. So tell your feelings how to feel. Talk to your mind and say, this fear that I have is completely irrational. You know, um, when was the last time you heard anybody diagnosed with toxoplasmosis? Oh, okay then. So relax, sister, cool it down, and just get to work. It works all the time. Your subconscious mind is like the one magical tool, one magical organ, one magical part of our bodies, one magical part of the creator that we can connect with, that we can actually control. And people have been for centuries told otherwise. Now we have the light, we have the knowledge, we can understand these truths, we need to start moving towards them. The next way to seize your day, go beast mode, okay, is having a purpose. Nothing is ever meaningful without a purpose, all right? So purpose means you have now, this is a whole process to this whole thing called purpose, because you have to commit to having a purpose. You know, there is, like, say, for instance, time management. There is like sacrifice. You're giving up things so that you can see a certain outcome. You know, you are planning, you are delegating, you are actually working a scientific formula or a strategy towards seeing a particular outcome. All right. Then, of course, you have all of the effort, like I said, then you have the execution. You have to execute step one straight to the end. Like they say, the process of moving a mountain begins by moving one stone. So it's like every day, day in and day out, you're moving a stone. You're actually seeing the vision. This is the same thing now with the purpose. The purpose is having a clear picture of the end outcome, of the result that you'd like to see. So planning a strategy and working towards it daily, having the purpose. What is it that you would like to feel at the end of this accomplishment? What would you have accomplished at the end when this vision becomes real, when it manifests into reality as physical? Okay? Because sometimes people say, well, I want a home. I want a home for myself. You know, I want a home, of course. And you say, well, what's the feeling? Why do you want a home? Do you want a home just so that rain can't wake you up at night? Do you want a home so that you can, have a place to call your own? What is it that what is pressing to you about owning a home? Then a person would say, okay, well, of course, I want a home for my children to be safe, for them to have a shelter, for them to have a place to, sure. All of these can be definite, legitimate reasons why you want a home. But at the end of the day, it's the feeling that you really want about having a home. You want to feel accomplished. You want to feel like as an adult, you have achieved something, something bigger than most people can say they've achieved. You want to feel accomplished. That's the number one feeling that most people, I would imagine, who are homeowners would like. You want to feel secure because now here it is, you're not going to be evicted in like 2 months time because you can't pay rent. Security is another feeling that you would like to feel. You want to feel comfortable. That's definitely a big part about home ownership. You can make things the way you want them. You can have things the way you like them. You can lie down and look up and see, like, flipping the Sistine Chapel is up there. This is comfort. You want peace of mind. You want beauty. You want all of these things. Those are the feelings that you want now out of the purpose that you have set from the beginning. Okay? And this is why some people seem to execute things so well and so much better than other people, because the image that they have in their mind, or the actual purpose in their mind, was much stronger, much more concentrated. And so when you want to seize your day and you get up in the mornings, you think about the outcome of the day. You think about the end of the day, the feeling that you would like to have at the end of the day. You imagine that from the beginning, from early when you get up, and you set your intentions. You affirm, you say, okay, today is going to be the best day of my life. All right. Today is the start of my new life. Today is the beginning of anything I want. Okay. That's what you do early on, so that every waking moment of the day, you are actually moving toward that purpose, that outcome. You're not wasting time. See, when people don't set purposes and have a vision of what they want for the future, they waste time. They sit around, and I hate to hear people say, "Oh, I was just killing time. I'm killing this 30 minutes before I have to go back." Or like, what? That's your life you're killing, okay? Just idly doing nothing, just sitting there and being susceptible to programming from other people, programming from the television, which we know is a big part of the matrix, the big lie that's being told a lot of the time. It's a lie, or it's some deception or distraction from what it is that you really can be working towards. So, and it doesn't have to be hard work. Every little step that you take matters. If you say, let's say for instance, you wanted to do a video tomorrow. You're like, okay, tomorrow, yes, I'm gonna do my first video. I'm gonna get like 10 views, okay, and my first subscriber on my new channel. That's your vision. That's the purpose. The purpose is now you want to begin something. You want to start a community of your own that's going to start growing. That's the vision that you have. So it doesn't have to be any big steps you take. All you do now the night before, or as you think that, is start to write down one topic. Or sometimes you're, in a conversation with someone and you're watching TV and a topic comes up. You're like, ding, 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 ding. Write that down. That's the topic for tomorrow. Okay? It's just small steps add up. The third way of seizing your day, guys, is got my little handy dandy feather pen. The third way to seize your day is by developing your social skill set. Okay, now I've watched a lot of videos, motivational videos, inspirational videos. I'm finding a lot of different channels that talk about these kinds of topics, and I love motivational speech. I love people being pumped up for something good, okay, because the world has done a great job at the opposite. So we're here as light beings. We are here with an intention to shed light on things that are going to help us grow and evolve through time. Okay, we're preparing for ascension. This is what we're doing. So the third way to seize your day is, like I said, developing your social skill set. This is very important. About, say, 5 or 6 years ago, I read a book. Oh my goodness, who was it by? Daniel, is it Goldman? I'm not sure. Why am I remembering that name? But anyway, the book was named Social Intelligence. And I think he has a book called Emotional Intelligence as well. But let me just check and make sure, because I don't want to say the wrong person's name for the book and give them credit for something that, they didn't do. So we're going to see right now if that is the name. Book. I don't want to just read about social intelligence. I want to read about the social intelligence book. Okay? Yes, it is Daniel Goldman. Ha! Okay. That book was a very long book, and it was something that at the time, at first, I don't even remember how I stumbled upon the book, but it was brand new when I got it. And I read that entire book, and it opened my eyes to a lot of truth about how people behave in public settings, how we interact with one another, all of this kind of stuff. And it's very important as a part of seizing your days, okay, and actually powering up your life. It's important for you to remember personality is important, but also how you work along with other persons as well. All right. Knowledge trumps personality. So if you're working with other people toward a certain goal, get to know what it is that you're working with. Get to understand whatever it is that you need to do. Get the knowledge behind it. Don't just assume things. Work with other people, whereas you may actually not be so certain about how this particular mechanism works, or how this system works, or how this policy goes, or whatever it may be, but the other person may have expertise in this whole area. So in order for you to get to know that, you're going to have to formulate a proper communication with this person. And this is what I see happen a lot of times in our society. People lack communication skills. Okay? Communication is the key to actually solving problems. You need to be able to discuss. You need to be able to listen. You need to be able to actually formulate a conclusion based on the information that you've been given. So, your social skill set is very important. Sometimes just language barriers is a hindrance to seeing something succeed, to prospering or benefiting the entire, group of people involved. So learn to better your vocabulary. Learn to stop using slang speech everywhere you go. Sometimes you need to be able to speak proper English. I am a stickler for English, okay? For proper English. We use dialect where I live every day of our lives, yes, but I've never really been a practitioner of speaking dialect, all right? Because it gets you too comfortable. Like some people I say sometimes when I'm talking at home, and like I find myself like this is a Bahamian way we say stuff like if you want to talk about this pen, you're gonna say, he took just the normal sentence would be he gave his pen to his classmate. Let's just use that as an example. But here in dialect form, we would say he pen to he classmate. Yeah, he pen to his classmate. What? Now, who the hell is going to understand you outside of the Bahamas? No one. So you're going to have to learn to be versatile with your language, with your speaking pattern. Learn to actually be able to be international. Learn to be, a chameleon. Learn to transform yourself. Learn to do all of these things so that you are able to actually, like I said, efficiently and effectively communicate and get your point across and understand everyone else's point. Social skill set is very important. And sometimes you got to know when to not talk. Sometimes you got to shut up and listen. The next tip in seizing your day is dealing with what is in front of you. Okay? Because you don't want to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off and stuff, confused and bamboozled. You're like all over the place. You're not sure which way you're going. You want to focus on what's in front of you. And once you get that done, you move on to the next thing. Now, some people, if you're like me, I like to tackle the more difficult things first. So that gives me space now moving forward to feel freer moving toward the more minute issues or situations that I have to focus on. But sometimes it's different. It depends on what the situation entails. So, for instance, let's just say, I'm going to try and find a good example, something that was very personal to me. Let's see. Some things you might want to leave for last because it may be the most difficult thing and you need to actually focus most of your effort on this particular situation or occurrence. So it's all up to you, but you have to actually sit down. This is why people tell you to write lists. People tell you to write down these things. Plan. All right? Those who fail to plan, better plan to fail because your brain is only able to really focus on certain things all at once. What's most important, okay? So your brain is not going to remember every single little 10,000 details that you thought about that same day. Your brain is going to actually it's only going to remind you about the things that are most important. And then when you lie down at night and you're like, oh, I didn't remember to do this. That's why you write things down, okay? Because you're being proactive. You're not being reactive. You're being proactive, okay? And successful and productive people know that you have to literally take steps to plan your day out. Your brain, there was a show, I don't know if it still comes on, Brain Games, but they were talking about the guy who was talking about, during this little experiment that they were doing with the test subjects. And it proved that your brain can only focus on what's really in front of you, what's really important to you at any given time. So it's very imperative for you to write things down because the world is filled with distractions. Sometimes you could just be talking about something, and just like that, a car horn blows, a dog barks, a siren or something, the lights go out, whatever, you have no idea. All kinds of distractions take place. So Save yourself the trouble, save yourself the time, and make notes. These days we've got these. These days we've got all kinds of apps and things like that that we can have at our fingertips. Apps that even remind you to save information. Apps that'll tell you, hey, did you make a note today? What is it that you're supposed to do? Let's write down 3 things that are top on your priority list to do today. There's no excuse. So those of us who ignore these kinds of stuff, we just are literally intentionally ignoring it. And guess what? Doesn't mean it's going to go away. It means that you're going to regret not doing it later on if it was something that was really meaningful to you. So go around, go over, go under, but you still got to go through. And that's what's in front of you. You have to get to the destination. You have to get to the destination. That's the point. All right? Failure is a part of success. Okay? A lot of people believe that successful people don't fail, and that's not true. Successful people have failed, I think, a lot more than the average person, but they have just continued to keep trying. They go around, like I said, they go under, they go over, but they go through it and they get to the point, to the promised land. Okay? Get to the promised land regardless. Now, when you fail, like I said before, a lot of the times when you have failed to plan, you should plan to fail because you have failed to plan. But that doesn't make your failure permanent. All right? This is just a temporary situation. You failed at meeting a specific goal. You didn't fail in general. You failed at meeting a particular goal, okay? Or seeing a certain outcome at a certain time. But overall, you did not fail. Like Russell Simmons says, the only failure is when you quit trying, all right? So you have to study the failure and learn from it and say, okay, what do I need to correct next time so that this doesn't happen again? Next time, maybe I should write a note and stick it on my dashboard of the car. Maybe I should write a note and stick it on my mirror in the bathroom, you know? Whatever it may be, you have to plan though. Now, people say that, you know, when you make a plan, God laughs, which sometimes we know to be true, but it's better than not planning at all, okay? Just like they say, if you aim for the sky, if you aim for the, how does it go? If you aim for the stars, at least if you miss, you're gonna hit the moon or something like that, something to that effect. But that's the point. The point is aim high and plan big so that even if you miss a few steps along the way, even if you didn't hit the exact mark, you are that catapulted up into the stratosphere, okay? That you're close, you're really close. And in no time, you're going to be there. All right? So you have to learn to wallow in your sorrows sometimes. You have to learn to like feel the emotion of that failure. Feel embarrassed, feel upset, feel angry, feel hurt, feel sad, feel discouraged sometimes even. But you have to know how to get yourself out of that. Pick your ass up out of that and keep it moving, okay? Because there is an objective, okay? And we have to realize we are timeless beings. We are subject to time in this realm that we are in. This is why we have to make these steps. We have to strategize in order to see our goals come to pass. Now you have to affirm. That's another part of seizing your day. You have to tell yourself, this is just like in the beginning with the self-awareness, but this is a bit different because you can do this all day long. Anytime you feel those sneaky, creepy, stinking, yucky thoughts come in your mind, you say, oh no, not today. You know, like I said, I already affirmed from first thing this morning when the sun shined on us that this is going to be the best day of my life, and no man, woman, child, or dog is going to take that away from me. This is my right to have a wonderful, beautifully blessed day. I'm so grateful to be alive, okay? Because once you're alive, nothing is impossible. You know, once you're alive, there's hope. All right? Keep that in mind, guys. And last but not least, the last way to go beast mode and seize your day is to remember to trust the process. This is the grace that Tony Robbins talks about, okay? Tony Robbins likes to talk about grace because this is a real thing, you know? Grace isn't some magical luck that just happens. Grace is something that is given to you based on the internal mindset that you have, based on the mechanisms going on inside of your subconscious mind. You are blessed with this grace. Okay, grace is that power of the subconscious mind. Grace is that like mercy and favor that you get from people just out of seemingly nowhere. But it's not out of nowhere. It is from your subconscious. It is the divine within you, that infinite intelligence that is blessing you, that is showing you, hey, you know, all is well. Trust. Just trust the process, all right? There's a book that I'm reading called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. This is the most awesome book I've read this year. I would say this year, not like in my whole life, but this year it's really good. I must say for the last few years, I must say. But it's a really good book. I'm going to try to put the link down below if I can find the free link. I'll put it down below in the description. I'd love for you guys to read it because I want to start doing topics based on this book, based on certain chapters in this book. And I think that if you read it, it will change your life for good. Because a lot of the things I read in there, we already know a lot of the things. You know, doctors have discovered, have done research and have proven all of these things and stuff like that years ago. But many of the time, I mean, lots of times we choose to just listen to the voice in our heads that says, ignore all of that, you know? You only know how you feel right now. He who feels it knows it. Joseph Murphy doesn't know how I feel. Yes, he does. But when you learn to control your subconscious mind, this is when you're going to see your life turn around and do a flipping whole 180. All right? And it takes minimal effort, but you're going to reap the maximum benefits. And day in and day out, practicing the steps that are entailed in this book, that are detailed in this book, are going to help you to strategize your life so much better, and you're going to come out on top and be thankful you found it. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because we're growing this community. This is the day of awakening. This is a day of enlightenment, okay? This is a day of encouragement, day of love, day of truth. And I want to see everyone around me grow and evolve to be that higher self that they know they can be and that their creator has created them to be. So subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm going to say next, the little notification bell on the side of the subscribe box. Because like I said before, your subscription would mean nothing if you're missing out on the rest of the videos because you're not being notified. That's what that bell does. Hit that, subscribe, like, notify. All right? And leave your feedback like I always like to ask because that's very important to us engaging and us actually sharing this information and internalizing the information that we've heard today. And how has this video helped you, or how do you seize your day? How do you keep yourself motivated and inspired to keep on going? All right? I want to hear from you guys. Don't be shy. Let's do this today. Until I come back with another video, I don't know if I'm going to stay Morticia Adams or not, but peace and love, guys. I'm going to be back shortly. Blessed be and namaste. Bye.